The Reese Senior Bowl is one of my favorite events of the year because we get to see over 120 of the nation's very best players from all different levels gather in Mobile and truly compete their butts off all week to raise their stock and earn more money come the draft in April. And let me tell you, there was a lot of great competition this week, with some people unquestionably raising their stock and some people unfortunately falling down boards. Now, I've got more risers than fallers on my list. Maybe I'm a glass half full kind of guy, but there really were some dominant performances from guys projected in the later rounds that really helped themselves. And I think most of the players who struggled were already lower on boards, so they didn't fall too much. But there were 3 guys who I think lost a lot of money this week, so stay tuned till the end to see who it was. Now let's jump right into it. Gray Zabel from North Dakota State is my first riser of the week. He spent all week showing out at left guard, center, and right guard. He showed out so much that he was named overall practice player of the week, voted on by NFL executives from all 32 teams. The reason he was voted as the guy for the week is because he showed such a wide range of skills in both pass pro and team drills. For example, here, when facing a bull rush, he displayed a beautiful technique to anchor through the inside of his feet with all his cleats in the ground, great hip and ankle flexibility to pull this off, driving the D-tackle shoulders up and stopping the momentum before quickly resetting in a natural stance, protecting himself from being pulled downward off balance and allowing him to mirror the defender in front of him. Beautiful rep. Again, beautiful in pass pro, this time showing some different skills, specifically in his impressive foot speed to be able to recover after temporarily losing the rep. He flips his hips in a very athletic way for a 316-pound man and then finishes the defender in the dirt. He showed off a lot of impressive traits with wins in a drill where offensive linemen are honestly in a disadvantage because without the other linemen pass protecting next to them, it gives defenders much more room to pass rush. Now, it wasn't just in the pass where Zabel showed off. He also showed impressive power and athleticism in the run, especially in the game on Saturday. Zabel will be in the late round 1, early round 2 discussion after this week. Now, another player who was naturally at a disadvantage all week was cornerback from Western Kentucky, Upton Stout. One-on-ones for DBs are brutal because, again, there is so much space and so many options for the receiver to win. It's like cover 0, but the quarterback has all day to throw. Despite this, Upton Stout showed elite movement skills to mirror receivers' routes underneath, the speed to stay in receivers' hips or chest all the way downfield against deep passes, and the ball skills to make life tough at the catch point. He's an undersized corner, but he looked like Trent McDuffie of the Kansas City Chiefs out here, who is also very small, but both guys can move with such incredible ease and fluidity, even going backwards. Stout was ranked 153rd on a media consensus big board, but I guarantee with this performance all week, live in front of coaches, he will be a top 100 pick. The third player who dominated every practice and in the game is wide receiver out of Georgia, Arian Smith. Smith came into the week ranked 644th on the consensus media board and 306 on the PFF big board. I've never even scouted a player so low on the consensus board. Smith was almost unanimously considered an undrafted free agent, and I suspect he will be unanimously projected a day 3 pick after showing great ball skills, great high-end speed, physicality in his route running, and the ability to stop on a dime to change directions. Man, I don't understand how a guy this athletic, who stayed at Georgia for 5 years and finished his senior season with 801 yards, was projected so low, but that definitely changed this week. Fourth player that dominated the Senior Bowl in practices and in the game is small school edge David Walker from Central Arkansas. Walker was arguably the most disruptive player in pass pro one-on-ones all week, winning with impressive bull rushes for a 267-pound edge thanks to good burst, low leverage, and hand placement. He also showed the bend and athleticism on this rush of an edge 20 pounds lighter. dipping so low and running the loop to the quarterback at an angle that had this 49ers coach losing his mind. So he showed, despite being a small school guy, that athletically and physically the sky is the limit for him in the NFL. Some defensive line coach will pound the table for this guy in round 2 of the draft, and I'd be shocked for him to make it out of the top 75. He deserves it because the guy fights his ass off every single rep, just a great competitor. 5th guy to earn some money at the Senior Bowl is fellow small school defensive lineman Darius Alexander from Toledo. And these guys happen to be right next to each other on the consensus media rankings with Walker 98 and Alexander 99. But go ahead and lock Alexander in for the top 75 as well. And I could even see Alexander being an early round 2 pick because at 304 pounds, he showed off incredible burst just to blow by blockers in both the pass and the run. He showed incredible footwork, for example, here on a hard jab step inside to freeze the guard, then a great lateral step outside, flipping his hips, head, and chest all into the club on the arm, then using that great agility and footwork to quickly get his hips back to the quarterback and ripping high for one of the best reps of the week. This shows not only his great agility at 304 pounds, but also his impressive pass rushing technique, which he had plenty of throughout each practice. If you get him with a top-level NFL defensive line coach, then this guy could become a fan favorite pass rushing from the inside. Okay, hang with me. I only have 2 more winners who I just can't leave off the list, and then 3 losers who potentially lost millions of dollars on their rookie contracts thanks to such poor performances. But first, if you are enjoying this video, then please give it a like to help my small channel a ton, and subscribe if you want to see my Tyler Warren breakdown or Jackson Dart breakdown, both of which are coming this week. Okay, back to my winners, with number 6 being Tez Johnson, the 156-pound Oregon receiver who was completely, totally, fully unguardable in one-on-ones. He looks so much like Tank Dell when running these routes with such incredible foot speed, agility, and creativity. I'd say it's thanks to Tank Dell's success in the NFL that this week will likely boost Tez Johnson into the top 75 rather than late round 3 or 4. Now, the injuries that Dell has faced will probably make some teams take Johnson off their boards altogether because they'll say, see, a guy this size can't hold up in the NFL, and they might be right. But the way Dell and Johnson just can't be mirrored in man coverage will make some teams value Johnson's skills very highly after this week, despite the size. You can see for yourself why this guy is worth taking a chance on. And finally, my last winner of the week has to be Elijah Arroyo, tight end out of Miami. This might be the best tight end class in the 10 years I've been watching the draft so closely, and Arroyo did a great job separating himself into those top 5 names. He did it with really impressive agility and route running nuance for a 6'4", 251-pound man. Notice a theme in my winners is their agility or footwork because that trait really pops in these settings, showing coaches what potential a player might possess, whether in a good way or, as you'll soon see for some, in a very bad way. Elijah also had multiple contested catches that show great physicality and ball skills, just easily the best tight end of the week. Now, what all you negative Nellies have been waiting for is the big fat losers of the week. Alright, that's pretty harsh, but truly these guys unfortunately dropped many spots on teams' big boards thanks to poor performances. Starting with the obvious one, Jalen Milroe, quarterback of Alabama. He started his rough week out by measuring his hands at under 9 inches, which I don't think is a major issue, but some teams will have big problems with it. The NFL ball is much larger than college or high school, so it could cause grip issues that affect his accuracy, especially in bad weather games. My problem is just that Milroe looked mostly inaccurate at Bama, and he looks completely inaccurate at the Senior Bowl. Whether throwing one-on-ones, throwing in team drills, or throwing in the game on Saturday, it was brutal for his draft stock. There was chatter about the Steelers among a few other teams liking Milroe in late round 1, but after such a pitiful week and a very up and down season, I just don't see how you can take a chance on Milroe in the first 2 rounds. Next unfortunate faller of the week is Arkansas edge Landon Jackson, who saved himself a bit with the huge game on Saturday, but I just can't overlook the 3 days of absolutely nothing positive in practice. I mean, he's 273 pounds, and he was unable to really show much power at any point. He came into the week with big question marks about his slow footwork and stiffness, and those questions were answered, but not in the way he'd hoped. Like with my winners, the agility and foot speed is one of the things that pop off tape in these one-on-ones, and what popped for Jackson was his lack of these traits. After guys like Mike Green, Walter Nolan, Shamar Stewart, and my 2 D-line winners earlier show great footwork, I think it's a safe bet that Landon Jackson was surpassed by multiple guys this week and will likely be a late round 2 pick at the absolute earliest. Finally, my heartbreaking faller of the week is offensive guard Wyatt Milum. Man, I loved his tape from West Virginia because he played with such power and nastiness in the run, just the way you want an offensive lineman to play. But he definitely had concerns in pass protection before coming to Mobile. Well, he was arguably the worst pass protector of the week at the Senior Bowl. He just does not have any foot speed to mirror defenders. He looks so uncomfortable moving backwards that he even struggled to anchor against bull rushes despite his great strength. Look, a guy with his strength and demeanor on the line is worth an early day 3 pick in every draft class, but he had a chance to prove himself an early day 2 pick with a good performance in Mobile, and he did just the opposite. I will give one special shout out to a well-deserving honorable mention winner of the week, Jackson Dart. I'm currently working on his breakdown video and it should be out within a week, so make sure to subscribe. That way YouTube will recommend my Jackson Dart video when I publish it. Also, shout out to the Couch Potato general manager whose channel supplied a lot of these clips. If you want to see more of his content, then click the link in the description below. That's all for the risers and fallers of the 2025 Senior Bowl. It was a great week as always, and I hope to see you guys again soon for more draft content.